Okay, we'll continue discussing some cases related to the final case of chapter 16, talking about speech, writing, presentations, and media interviewing. Okay.
Assalamu alaikum, my colleagues. Today, inshallah, I will be talking about chapter 16, speech writing, presentation, and media interviews. Starting to talk about the speech writing. Working in PR requires excellent knowledge of interpersonal communication. The PR practitioners usually write speeches for their employers to say in any occasion. The speeches are important because they describe diplomatic way of giving wanted status or to the public or to the interested audience. For example, if I'm giving a speech, I want to give a speech to an audience or to some certain audience, I will be standing here, I will be giving the speech to you without visual material, without anything, or I will be sitting here with a group of my colleagues telling you or giving you a speech about something specific. This speech will be written by someone who's employed by me. He is a PR practitioner. Like, for example, if Dr. Rashdi wants to make a speech and I'm working for him, he will tell me, go Kamil, you are the PR practitioner, go write the speech, and then I will be telling the speech to you. In this case, the spokesperson, in this case Mr. Rashdi Wadi, will review the speech and know his audience and ask me about everything. So when he gives the speech, he doesn't want to be confused or something else. Like as we said in case in chapter 13, the woman who gave the speech about Saddam Hussein to the people of Afghanistan, I believe. People of Kurdistan, she gave them a wrongful speech about Saddam Hussein. She said that 300,000 were killed by poisonous gas. This is incorrect status. So the people believe that she is a liar and she couldn't improve the US image to these people. So the PR practitioner came to correct it, say, no, there was 5,000 killed from poisonous gas. So she was talking about combined number through Saddam Hussein governance. Okay. Why is it important? The speeches are important because they describe a diplomatic way of giving wanted states.
Can you think always that the public relations practitioner will write speeches for his boss?
Usually. Usually, not always. Because you as a spokesperson, you are busy. You would hire me. Why would you hire me? Because you want me to help you in the PR areas. Like, for example, writing a speech. But if you...
But sometimes you will be the one to present the speech.
Yes.
Not always you just writing for me as a boss,
yes,
as CEO, but sometimes you will be the one to face the public.
To face the public, yes, okay. Maybe. If you ask me to do it, like Kamil, go ahead and write the speech and present it to the public in my name or under my address, under my title.
You are representing the organization.
Yes, I will be representing the organization. This will be my my area.
Sometimes you have to write, and sometimes we'll be the one to face your public.
Yes. Okay. As we said, this is the importance of speak. Why would I say a speech? Because I want to improve the image of the company. I want to give a status. I want to give diplomatic correctiveness or something else. While the presentation is different from the speech. The presentation is more visual act than listening. Requires preparing a visual material to exhibit to audience and explain what they want or what they have to say. Okay, this is the type of presentation that I am talking about. What's the presentation? Me preparing some material, visual material, or asking my PR practitioner to prepare some visual material, and then I come to say it to you and show you with the statistics or examples or anything else. In this case, I also have to be prepared, well prepared. So if you have any questions, anything, so you can ask to me without me stumbling or saying something that I don't know. This now we are going to talk about the interview. Interview is widely used method of publicizing an individual or a cause that could be written in magazines, in newspaper, radio, or maybe TV. It's considered to be more personal. What's interview? Interview will combine most of these. It's speaking, listening, and me in front of someone. Like me, I want to interview Dr. Rashdi. And then I come to him, we interview each other, I ask him a question, he answers to me. Maybe it's online, on TV, maybe it's written in magazines, maybe it's publicizing, what's the aim of this interview? Maybe when I interview Dr. Rashdi Wadi, he has a company like Nibras or something else. He wants to talk about his company, so it's some kind of publicizing. Or maybe if Dr. Rashdi is a figure, is a well-known figure as he is, then he wants to publicize himself. I'm Dr. Rashdi Wadi, I work in IUG, I could be a executive or CEO or something else. This is an introduction for the chapter that I will be discussing the case about. A good speech that connects well with the audience's core values and declares an inspirational message. This is the good speech. When I can judge if this speech is good or not. After I give the speech, I will evaluate what happened. As I said, when the woman that was hired as ambassador of USA in Kurdistan, she wanted to polish the image of USA. Well, after she gave the speech, she received a negative criticism. So this wasn't a good speech because she didn't connect to the core values of these people. She insulted them and insulted their minds, so it wasn't a good speech. But if it was a good speech, the people will be, okay, that was a very good speech, we are very pleased, we want to come to USA, we know that USA isn't an organization of terrorism, and etc. This was the speech that I'm talking about. This was the kind of speech that Kay Cool James is a woman who is a director of the U.S. Office of Personnel Management. This woman was supposed to give a speech at the Defense Information System Agency. This is an agency that supports the U.S. technology and communications all over the world, especially in Iraq, Afghanistan, and the war zones. Okay, this was the kind of speech, a good speech, inspirational speech, was given by Kay Cool James, director of U.S. Office of Personnel Management, gave to the employees of Defense Information System Agency. Like, I will be Kay Cool James, and you are the employees of this Defense Information Agency. Okay, I will come to you and give this speech because I am supposed to give this speech. This is how she started her speech. They said it couldn't be done. Like, when I come to you at the first of the semester, you said, we won't pass marketing, we won't pass PR. And then after you pass the PR, I will come to you, they say it couldn't be done. You couldn't pass PR, and now you have passed PR. This would be a motivational speech, it would be a good speech, you will be happy and glad because I remind you that what couldn't be accomplished is now accomplished. So you would be happy, thrilled, and excited. This phrase or sentence had a special meaning and objective of raising morale, motivation, and etc. Maintaining professionalism and motivating employees. When I say this kind of speech, you are happy, glad, and etc. This is what Kay Cool James said. The Defense Information System Agency is a major communication and computer supplies to the U.S. forces in Iraq, Afghanistan, and other locations around the globe. As I said, this agency provides the U.S. with communication devices and intelligence and information technology, all devices that's needed by the USA. So the woman, Kay Cool James, is the spokesperson for the Personnel Management Office. So she came to give a speech to the employees of this agency to motivate them and give them a credit. Well, good job, well done. But she doesn't have to. She doesn't have to. Why? Because your employees, you work in a company, you do something that's paid for you. You don't have to come, like if I came, I was the spokesperson, you work for the company, I don't have to come and say thank you. I don't have to come and say thank you. Why? Because you are supposed to. But when I come and say thank you, you will be motivated, you will work more hard, and you will love this customer. You will love me as a Kay Cool James. James, who was invited to speak at the Executive Speaker Forum, reminded everyone in the audience that nothing is impossible, pushing their spirit up and pushing their morals and motivation. James also reminded them with a great power of the U.S. soldier and the history that's filled with amazing feats of everyday people. Like, let's consider Al-Qassam, okay, Al-Qassam army. When I come and I work, for example, someone like Abu Ubaidah, you know, everyone knows Abu Ubaidah, right? Abu Ubaida is the main spokesperson. Let's put him instead of Keiko James. And you are the people who working in manufacturing technology for Al-Qassam. Okay, you work for me for Al-Qassam. You want manufacture technology, and then you have invited me, Abu Ubaida, to come and say thank you. You are the reason why we are victorious in حرب حجارة السجيل. You are the reason why we have victory, we have conquered Israel and other stuff. That means that you will be excited, and I will be thankful for you, and you will do more hard work. You will love Qassam army, you will love me, you will love the idea of defending Palestine through Qassam.
You focus on your achievements and your contribution. That's why you feel that you are fully motivated of that. But you are talking too risky about it.
The speech had focused on the important role that was played by the members of the audience in turning political promises into realistic accomplishments. When the US department come and say, we will go to Iraq and liberate Iraq from the tyrant Saddam Hussein, this is what they say, and you as a people, you don't believe us. Why would you do that? How would you do that? But then after you accomplish this through your technology and you helping us, I say thank you for turning what was unreal to a realistic thing. Thank you for helping us to turning political promises into realistic things, the realistic accomplishments. Thank you for making the people believe in us. Thanks for your role. Thanks for what you did, for your hard work, for your time, for your off time and other stuff. Into realistic accomplishment. And for James to support her idea, she indicated some references to Memorial Korean War and quotations from former President Ronald Reagan. She reminded them of what's happened in Korea War when they attacked Korea after the two Koreans were separated, North and South. And then she reminded them of an old speech for President Ronald Reagan. Had some quotations from it. I couldn't bring the quotations. I didn't know what speech it was. To help them and motivate them and tell them this is what you did, this is how we compare the past to the present, and this is the realistic thing that you have done, so thank you very much. The media were not permitted to attend the speech. This is awkward and strange, but since it's regarding wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, the situation was hazardous and very risky, so they were afraid to bring media and outsiders to the conference. They were afraid of bombings or other stuff, so they didn't allow the media to come to the speech. But they gave the subtitles and the speech, the written speech, to the media, got a huge media coverage. Very huge media coverage. It was...
This is what is going to create some doubts.
Okay, yes.
From the journalist point of view. Why
Yes.
did not attend?
Yes. Of course, it created some doubts, but why the personal management office that Keiko James works for has explained this. Say we were afraid of bombings, the situation was very hazardous, and the things weren't very stable, so we didn't come to cover. Although the media was anxious and mad and worried, they have understood this because I believe that they have played in the mind of the media. The speech was shown to public by transcripts and newspaper. The speech was chosen by PRSA for Bronze Anvil because it was very motivational speech. It was a very good speech, though, as we know, that this speech has no media coverage at all. Like I searched all around the internet for videos, YouTube, other stuff. I didn't get this. But other videos that won the PRSA annuals for like gold and other awards, they were shown. But this speech wasn't shown, but only in the transcripts it was shown and got this award. So it was a very motivational speech. As a whole summary or a whole recommendation, I will tell you that the most important part is the speech, how to use your words. Like when I said about the Saddam Hussein issue, the woman who was ambassador in Kurdistan, she didn't know how to use her words well. She didn't know how to play with words. So she got a very negative criticisms and a very negative response. But this woman, she got a very good, like she was talking about war. People hate war. But though she was talking about war, people loved her and she got the PRSA Bronze Anvil. This is the importance of speech and how to use your words right. Thank you very much.
Welcome everybody. My name is Zakaria Fayyad and I'm going to present a case study about flying to the autopilot on a private jet. This case study related to chapter 13, which talk about the public. So let's start. Case study: flying to the auto bailout on a private jet. The greatest corporate relation blunder of the 21st century so far took place on November 19, 2008, when the CEOs of the nation's three largest automobile manufacturing companies each flew a private jet to Washington in order to secure billions of dollars in taxpayer funds to keep their firms. That's a presentation that about the three largest nations industry in America, that they are going to ask for money from the Congress in America. The big three automakers appealed to Congress for billions in emergency aid Thursday by shooting overhauls to their business models, but skeptical lawmakers may be looking to impose even more severe changes, possibly including a corporate merger as part of the deal. So many persons perceive that situation from different point of views as lawmakers. The greatest corporate relation here, the big three appealed to Congress. They're going to Congress and they asked for money of billions and billions of dollars to help their companies to be afloat by touting over to their business models, but skeptical lawmakers may be looking to impose even more severe changes. That severe changes could be happen from that after doing that, or if we don't take this aid, like merger, for example. There is a delicious irony in seeing a private luxury jets flying to Washington, D.C., and people coming off of them with tin cups in their hands, saying that they are going to be trimming down and streamlining their businesses. Republican Gary Akram D. New York told the chief executive officers of Ford Chrysler General Motors at a hearing of the House Financial Service Committee. That's here the three industries or three companies, they are going to ask for money, and their executive are driving, or they are going to have three jets flying in the sky of Washington, D.C., and people are going to see those people. It's almost like seeing a guy show up at the soup kitchen in a high hat and tuxedo. It kind of makes you a little bit suspicious. Yani, for example, suppose that someone would يعني واحد مشيك هيك ولابس ملابس السهرة في مطبخ، يعني هذا it make you a little bit suspicious or little bit suspicious. Those people are like this. He added, that's a journalist, could not you all have downgraded to first class or jet pooled or something to get here? It would have at least sent a message that you do get it. يعني at least if the three get, or the three come in a pooled jet, and a jet pooled or something, that's give at least a message or send a message that you deserve that aid.
The three CEOs, they could ride one airplane instead of riding the three airplanes. واحد جاي طيارة لحاله، جايين هم يبنون فلوس عشان شركتهم تعبانة. أصلا لو ثلاثة قاعد في طيارة واحدة، الطيارة تكون أوردينري وان، أي طيارة، مش يعني طيارة مكفلة $20,000 لحالها بس، مجرد رحلة واحدة.
All three CEOs, Rick Wagner of General Motors, Alan Mulally of Ford, and Robert Nardili of Chrysler, exercised their perks Tuesday by flying in corporate jets to DC. Wagner flew in GM 36 million luxury aircraft to tell members that the company is burning through cash, asking for 10 to 12 billions for GM. يعني those people are riding that luxury jets and going to ask for money. يعني شحات بيد ورد يعني زي ما بيقولوا. It is. We want to continue. That's the vital role we have played for American for the past century, but we cannot do it alone. Wagner told the Senate Banking Committee, they are told that we are the one who captured the industry in America, and we are as a legacy for the American that's industry. While Wagner testified, his G4 private jet was parked at Duluth Airport. His jet or private jet, which it's cost 35 millions, are parked at Duluth Airports, and he going to say these words. It's just one of a fleet of luxury jets owned by General Motors that continues to ferry executive around the world despite the company's their financial straits. And this company have a very severe financial crisis, and they have a luxury and private jets for its managers. This is a slap in the face of taxpayer. That's from a journalism point of view. This is a slap in the face of taxpayer, said Tom Scatz, president of Citizens Agents Government West, to come to Washington on a corporate jet and asking for a handouts. It's outrageous. We come in a very luxury private jet and asking even for money. Now is not the time to do that sort of thing, said John McClory of the television program Outline Detroit. Now it's not the time to do that sort of thing. That sort of thing he means in riding a very luxury jets and come and asking for aids. Now is the time to be humbled and show that you are sharing equally in the sacrifice. McClory said, as a journalist, that you must at least show some respect. You must at least show some humble or humbling in order to ask for money, or you can deserve it. General Motors and Ford says, look at how the answers of those corporations in order to mollify the situation. يعني عشان يهدي الوضع. GM and Ford said that it is a corporate decision to have their CEOs fly on a private jet, and that it is non-negotiable, even as the companies say they are running out of cash. They say that is a very initial thing for our CEOs because they are simply our CEOs. And look, also private jet travels is perhaps the greatest perk of all for CEOs who say it allows them to travel more efficiently and safely even in the recession. That's their answer, and in order to modify the situation, and they are answering and replying on the journalism and journalists. This is a pattern of the same company that passed in that situation, like its name IEG, despite that 150 billion bailout, still operates a fleet of corporate jets. The company says it has bought 2 out of its 7 jets up for sale and is reviewing the use of others, though there are no such plans by General Motors or Ford. That's even if that company have that luxury plans, and they are having a plans in order to make the public opinion so cool. It appears that the senior management of the automaker simply don't get it. The serial management or the managers, they don't get it. They don't take what they are asking or looking for. Plans closed, but company jets stays. At the end, these companies are closed and collapsed, and their jets stayed, and no benefit from them. Thank you.
It's not really closed now. Still the three companies to work.
General Motors collapse. Yes.
Still have market share.
But the American government sold it or diluted it.
I think they did not get any type of assistance, financial assistance, but still they have their own card in the market share. So it may be sold for other companies or something like that. That's why he said the plant closed, but the company just
Still stayed.
existed.
Yes.
Assalamu alaikum, my name is Suhaib Ngab. I want to introduce to you a presentation about chapter 15, public relation writing and news releases and bad taste. This is our case, bad taste news release. And we will see we will define the news release and the types of news release and its effects, the effects of bad news release, as we will see in our case study later on. Release news. The definition of a news release news is a simple document whose primary purpose is to dissemination of information to mass media such as a newspaper and broadcast station and magazines. Before writing news release, there are a number of questions that should be answered. What is the key message? This should be expressed in one sentence. Who is the primary audience for the release? Is it our customer that who may buy our products or services, or is it for purchasing agencies from other companies? What does the target audience gain, and what are the potential benefits that they will gain? What objective does the release serve? Is it for maximizing profits and sales, or to enhance organization reputation? Types of news release. The first one, objectivism. We have objective news, which selected and published as it's happened exactly. Colored news, the opposite of objectivism, the opposite of objective news, which aims to be understood by audience as political news once, even if it changes the fact. The second one, tendency and expected result. We have positive news and negative news. Positive news, news which related to improvement, development, and solve problems, and so on. Negative news which related to conflicts and disasters, and as we will see later on in our case. Rules for writing news release. The first one, use short, tight headlines and subheads to highlight the main points, and don't use products. Don't describe products using phrases such as unique and total solution. Try to use terms that describe your product's distinctiveness, and look for creative ways to tie your announcement in which current news or trends, and don't use lame quotes. Target your writing by creating several or different releases for to go out for different mass media. Write simply and try to avoid grammatical mistakes and try to be clear. Here are the reasons that why news release fail. Because lacking on news value, headlines unclear, failed in marketing speak. News release is not marketing brochure, poorly written and bad edited and terrible grammar. Here we have our case about bad taste in news release. Here we have the Gene Weingarten versus Porter Novelli. This person is a journalist at Washington Post magazine, and this company, public relation firm that producing products like hot pockets, hot pocket sandwiches and something like that. In the winter of 2001, the Washington Post magazine claimed that public relation firm Porter Novelli released a tasteless news release for their client, Chief America's Hot Pockets sandwiches. This release
this news very risky for the organization. Whether you are producing something like sandwiches and the mass media, they are the one to handle this type of news and saying this, you are producing something tasteless. And indeed, you are being attacked by the mass media itself. And instead of saying something positive about your organization, they are the one who publish something that you may gain a bad attitude about your organization.
Now we are going to see there are many journalists criticize this release for many reasons that we will see right now. Unfortunately, this release was after a few weeks after attacks of September 11. Novell released this statement. Although the last few weeks have been challenging time for everyone, both personally and professionally, I know that we are all striving to return to normal in the coming weeks as you begin to return to your regular areas of focus. I want you here, let's see this important phrase. I want you to be familiar with the Chief America, makers of Hot Pockets brand sandwiches. This release, there are many journalists criticize this release for several reasons. We are going to see the journalist of Washington magazine why he criticized this release. The journalist Jane Weingarten went straight for the throat when criticizing the release during the September 11 attacks. He said, Porter Novelli insensitive, and they were trying to capitalize on the effects of September 11 attacks and tried to use the critical situation to maximize their sales. I think he is right, because people do not buy the products. People do not buy products for to be thankful or because they are like their product or hot pockets, but they are buying the product because they are scared from attacks. Porter Novelli defended itself by saying that they were not trying to capitalize on the September 11 attacks, but rather promoting themselves to different people that weren't eating out as often. That's all. Thanks.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. My name is Ibrahim Salut, and I will talk about the case study in the chapter 12. This chapter is government relations, and the case study in this chapter is the public relation performance of Barack Obama. But firstly, I will talk about the government relation, because we don't take this chapter in our course. I will define the government relations. This chapter discusses the importance of public relation in government as we know the exact number of public relation professionals in the government is unknown, but expected by thousands. The definition of government relations. The government relations is an educational process educating business and industry leaders about the governmental process, and educating official about the issues important to business or other constituencies, and educating government and business leaders and the public about the potential consequences of legislation. We have 4 basic steps in government relations. These steps are identify, inform, persuade, and support. Identify and simply means making yourself or making your company or industry known to people local. Inform the policy makers. Often this means telling something about the effect of the effects of their actions that they didn't already know. Persuade the legislator. This follows naturally from steps 1 and 2, but also distinguishes you as an advocate and not an educator. The support, often neglected, but can be the most important element. Now we will move to our case study, the presidential public relation performance of Barack Obama. Introduction. About the president election that occurred in 2008 in USA, the presidential election of 2008 was historic from many aspects. First, the oldest presidential candidate in history, John McCain. The potential of the nation's first woman vice president is Sarah Palin. Finally, the election of the nation's first black president is Barack Obama. Obama's campaign for the presidency was held as one of the most astute in the nation's history, but also memorable was the near picture perfect public relations that helped propel Obama to the White House. John McCain's public relations problems versus Obama's public relations triumphs was Obama's campaign for the presidency. Obama's campaign for the presidency was held as one of the most astute in the nation history. يعني حملته الانتخابية كانت موصوفة أو مميزة. But also memorable was the near picture perfect public relations that helped propel Obama to White House. Open the road to Obama to White House. McCain's public relations problem versus Obama's public relations triumphs was striking. يعني triumphs means انتصارات. Was striking. John McCain. I will talk about John McCain. John McCain was a bona fide war hero, and most people agreed. All around nice guy. Generally, he was beloved by media, and clearly their favorite when he ran against ultimate winner George Bush in the Republican primary of 2004. But the McCain's 2008 presidential campaign was largely marked by public relations blunders that confused the McCain identity and conveyed a perception to discord and disarray.
The public relation practitioners give the campaign more than its weight, and this focusing or over-focusing on that campaign make the people confused about that campaign, about that space.
The image that he wanted to form in the mind of his people already was deleted. Because he got somehow some exaggerations about his campaign. كتير كذا فالناس بتطلعها من confusion. مش مش معقول هو في الكلام هذا الصفات مع إنه هو كان من المعروف إنه هو زلمة محبوب للوسائل الإعلام، بس كل وسائل الإعلام والتغطية كانت فيها نوع من الإكزاجريشن أثرت عليه عكسي.
And now the most mechanisms egregious public relations missteps. Some egregious missteps. First, the wrong third parties. The wrong third parties is the key positive public relations and premature debate cancellation, Michigan mismanagement, and the Hell Sarah. And in this photo, we see the John McCain and Sarah Palin. Now we will talk about Barack Obama and his campaign to presidential. And in April, during the Democratic primary, Huffington Post blogger reported that Obama had told a small gathering at a close San Francisco cocktail party that with working class voters in Pennsylvania were bitter, so they cling to guns or religion or antipathy to people who aren't like them. And Obama paid the price for the inelegant remarks with a week's worth of negative publicity. And we have a primary public relation vectors that help Obama on the road to the White House were these: discarding Rev Ride, disdaining the gas holiday bandrig, backing of the brand Braggat, ignoring Ayer's empathy for a grandmother. And this is Barack Obama. And thank you.